Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm your host, Rob Rodriguez. Now, what a milestone it is, ladies and gentlemen. We hit 50 episodes. I mean, if you think about the past 49 episodes, it's like the 12 days of Christmas plus 38, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so how was I gonna set this thing up? Okay, what you just saw there was our 50th episode, and how we commemorated that milestone. But you know, I've gained some experience since then, and I feel like we can do this episode a lot more smoothly and a little more subtle, because we can always do a full-length show and yet still have a pretty big milestone on our hands here. So I guess let's put the confetti cannons on standby. Right. Well, here we are. Technical syndication. This is the 100th episode of the Rob Rodriguez Show. Okay, let's blast those things. Let's get the show started. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm your host, Rob Rodriguez. Here we are, the 100th. I mean, we don't need a boring, traditional 100th episode. I mean, Party City put our decorations on back order, isn't that enough? By the way, you know how hard it is to rent decorations for a Photoshop-generated image, like this one behind me? It's pretty tough. It's like DIY central. So as we go on in life, there are things we become cautious about. I mean, why do we become cautious about them, you ask? Because we made the mistake of doing said thing once before, and because how much of a bad experience it was the first time, we know not to do it again. I mean, who hasn't stuck their tongue on a 9-volt battery? No, a better question is, who was ignorant enough to put their tongue on a 9-volt battery the second time? I mean, people of that demographic, you are the poster child of hazmat suits. I mean, you're a walking warning sign. And the irony is, you don't listen to the warning signs. I bet all your pillowcases have the tags ripped off too. Well, still staying on topic, some people are so naive, they try to debunk predicaments. I mean, they watch a show, they watch all these videos, and they're like, that can't happen in real life. And then they try it for themselves, you know, to make it a cold case, like it's finished. Or it's so old that, whatever a cold case is, I don't watch the show. But, he learns his lesson hours later when the fire department are unlocking him out of his trunk. I can neither confirm or deny that I locked myself in the trunk a couple months ago. I'm like the FBI with that kind of secret. Another lesson learned is never stick your tongue on a frozen pole. I mean, that's kind of a dumb idea. Just like locking yourself in your trunk. Well, we have a lot more show to fill. So that being said, I'm gonna need a minute. Alright, so as most of you know, it is Friday the 13th, and 4 weeks ago I had this to say. Is it good luck to celebrate on such a bad luck day? I mean, come on, we're in competition with the Netflix series, A Series of Unfortunate Events here. Not all shows are winners, ladies and gentlemen. Well, anyway, usually when it's Friday the 13th and I do an episode, I try to at least make the first segment about superstition. But you know what, it is such a important day, important milestone for the show, that I thought maybe we can leave the topic alone and just cover it 6 months from now on the next Friday the 13th. Yeah, I mean, we really shouldn't have anything to worry about. I was meaning to get that fixed. It's time for the weekly list known as the possibility list. It's kind of like how once we make 100 lists, we're basically going to do the same thing. A regular show. Alright, this week's list is titled 4 Terrible Ways to Explain What the Possibility List is Kinda Like. So, if you're familiar with the show, you're aware that the possibility list has a pun every week before it starts. This list is made up entirely of rejected puns. Why didn't you just call it rejected puns, Rob? Because I'm like that. Alright, at number 4. What David Letterman will think if this segment is brought to his attention. Number 3. Putting styrofoam in a recycling bin. Number 2. Mixing Nesquik in your cereal. And number 1. 4 terrible ways to explain what the possibility list is. Wasting your gas attempting to find the end of a rainbow. Alright, and that is the possibility list for you this week. You know, I kind of feel end of show segments have been lacking. Yeah, I noticed this a couple weeks ago when we did another end of show segment. But let's do another one. It's a pretty fun one, where I take 2 words, put them together, becomes its own thing. It's time for some out-of-context wordplay. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, so we have a door and a restaurant mint. Hard knock. A book and a flightless bird. Why say it when we all know what we're thinking? Alright, so this has been pretty exciting for me. Hope it was exciting for you. I want to thank everybody who's helped in some way with the show over the last 99 episodes, 100, starting today. I thank those who have mentored me in video editing and the lighting and stuff. And, you know, those close to me, I want to thank you for being by my side these last 2 years. Why am I saying that like the show's ending? It's continuing. Although I will say that we are taking 3 weeks off because those of you who probably were paying close attention may have noticed for the last 5 weeks we've been in a different location that has better lighting and a nicer kitchen than the one you've seen. Well, we're moving back to our old location, so that's a big part of why we're taking the 3 weeks off. And, of course, I have a new project coming out that we introduced to you back on Black Friday. Yeah, that's right, we gotta start production of the Minute Show. Yeah, that's gonna be 7 days a week, or should I say 7 minutes a week. Okay, so that is the show for you this week. You know to follow me on social media. Until next time, I'll see you for the next 100. Okay.